Rehan, we are gearing up for the Ashes. It's gonna start tomorrow. What do you think about the rivalry first? I mean, 150 years of history, another chapter about to start in Australia. I think that is the ultimate test for baseball as a concept. But how do teams gear up for this contest?
It's, I think, the pinnacle of Test match cricket when you have two great oppositions playing against each other. We always look forward to the Ashes, even though sometimes it gets one sided,
Hmm.
with Australia being dominant in the 90s and the 2000s. But England have given tough fight. But the last time England were dominant down under was way back in 2010. So it's been a while since England have actually played great cricket in Australia.
Hmm.
The teams look great with injury concerns on both the sides as we speak about 2025. The history of the tournament has been rich, and we hope that the cricket lives up to its expectations in Australia. So, yeah, let's hope it's a great contest.
I think this rivalry can be uh, compared to India versus West Indies in Ahmedabad and Delhi that was played. But yeah, let's move past India and into the Ashes. A lot of things have been said. The Australian media welcomed Joe Root and Ben Stokes in a very crazy manner. A lot of chatter with all the legends that have played this game around this series. A lot of people have predicted the scoreline and have predicted that it will be one of the most competitive Ashes series in a while. I was having a conversation with Brett Lee myself, and he had mentioned that he thinks that it is going to be a very a series of two equal sides in terms of capacity. And he thinks that it's going to be 2-all in favor of both teams. I mean, there's nothing to divide the two teams, but a lot of even a lot of other legends have been saying that. So without further ado, let's deep dive into Australian team first. Pat Cummins, the regular skipper, not available for at least for the first test. His participation in the second test will be like the call on that will be taken later. Steve Smith returns as captain. Outstanding record as a captain and as a batsman as well. Josh Hazelwood missing out in the first test, but do they have the goods to defeat England on a bouncy Perth track in the first test?
I mean, the home advantage is great, but then they have holes in their side, more holes than a Swiss cheese, I would say. If you see, their opening pair hasn't been, cemented as such. You have Usman Khwaja. I mean, if you see statistically, he has done well for Australia. If you see from 2022 January till now, he's been their highest run scorer. He scored more runs than Steve Smith. So
Correct.
they have an experienced opener there, but they are not too sure about that opening combination.
Correct.
You're not too sure about how Cam Green will turn out. He's a big player, I think, in that lineup. Whether he'll bowl or not is a question mark. But I think a lot of responsibility is on him. Of course, the usual suspects, Steve Smith and Manas Labuschagne, all eyes would be on them. But of course, the bowling is somewhere I think Australia will have to look at. They might play Brendan Dodgett. He will be making his debut in the first test match. He will be playing alongside Mitch Stark, Lion. And I think Hazelwood will be missing out. So you will see Scott Boland playing. And Scott Boland will be playing after a long time, is what I think. So it will not be a very strong Australian setup. So England will have advantage going into that first test match.
And as you mentioned, that there are a lot of holes in this Australian batting lineup. More so is the return of Manas Labuschagne. He's been given the number three role again. But who do you choose in place of Cameron Green and Bo Webster? Because see, if you have two openers, Usman Khawaja and someone else, you've got Labuschagne at three, Smith at four. Again, Travis had at number five, not in the best of forms, but he can regain his form throughout, like anytime through the series. Number six, you would have someone like an Alex Carey or a Green if he's playing. So, who do you choose? Do you choose Cameron Green or Bo Webster?
I think the first choice would be Cameron Green if he's completely fit.
Mm.
It'll be hard on Bo Webster, even though he has done well in the opportunities that he has got.
He's played
But I think the
brilliantly in the
first,
Border Gavaskar Trophy.
definitely, but I think the first choice might be Cam Green if
Correct.
he's fit.
Mm.
Cam Green offers you the option of playing him in the top of the order.
Mm.
Personally, I think he should open the innings with Khwaja, but I think it will be Jake Weatherall who will be making his debut. A lot of
Correct.
eyebrows were raised when his name was taken in the Ashes squad. We have seen a bit of him in the Big Bash.
Mm.
He's played for the Adelaide Strikers. He's a left-hander, so he has scored runs in the county of Australian cricket. So I have my doubts that Cam Green might not open, but
He
it'll be
would
a
open,
great
yeah.
thing to watch out
Yep.
if he makes it to the 11.
And do you think that in terms of balance for the Australian squad, since you do not have someone like a Pat Cummins who can really bat at number eight and hold one hand if needed, and then you go out with four frontline bowlers and Nathan Lyon, Scott Boland, Mitchell Stark, and the fourth one, the person that you mentioned is going to make the debut. So four out and out bowlers. Do you think their batting ending at number seven puts a lot of pressure on someone like a Steve Smith who's not had a lot of runs under his belt of late? Maybe he's played a few Sheffield games and he scored a lot of runs. We know that, but again, uh, international cricket is a different beast, and obviously he's a class batsman. But do you think it just puts additional pressure on returning Manas, a number four that is towards the end of his career, and a number five that is struggling with form?
You're right. I think the entire batting would be under pressure, not only Steve Smith, because it's an aging squad, as you said.
Correct. Yep.
By the time we are into the Ashes, Usman Khawaja will be 39.
Mm.
So it's not really a young Australian side. And with Pat Cummins not being there, he does the responsibility with the bat and ball, both those departments. So I think bowling wise also they look a little thin with Josh Hazelwood also not being a part.
Correct.
So I think the first test match would be very difficult for Aussies.
Correct.
But since they are playing on their home turf, they might balance that out. And I think England should take advantage and go with a 1-0 win
Correct.
over Aussies in the first test match.
Now let's move on to England since you've mentioned that they are supposed to go 1-0 up and then move to the Gabba. Uh, Obviously, coming into the Ashes in Australia, Joe Root hasn't scored a century in his entire career in Australia. The man who started to surpass Tendulkar and become the greatest ever Test batsman. A lot of questions on him. Matthew Hayden has gone on the record to say that if Joe Root does not score a century this series, then he'll dance naked in the stadium. But yeah, apart from that, we have enough evidence in the recently concluded Anderson Tendulkar Trophy as well that their batsmen, their baseball approach is not crazy hitting. It is adapting to the format, and no better than Joe Root and Ben Stokes to lead the way. Correct.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. But it's not going to be easy for England. Entire responsibility wouldn't be on Joe Root, although he would be having this thought in the back of his head that I need to get runs in Australia because he is considered to be one of the greatest batsmen that England have produced. Not a lot of players have played in England.
Hmm.
Harry Brook, I don't think he will be making his first Test
Yep.
match playing in Australia. So uh, I think the pressure would be on the middle order per se because in the recent white ball series against New Zealand, they had a collapse. They
Hmm.
did not do that well.
Correct.
They lost out to the series. Uh, but the coach, Brendan McCallum, doesn't take that loss uh, too seriously. He thinks that they'll overcome it and they'll
Yep.
go on to win the matches in Australia. So let us hope for the best. Ben Stokes, the batter, is someone that I'm concerned about. That's an Achilles heel in the England side. His form is a matter of concern. If he gets amongst the runs, then I think England batting looks very good. But if he doesn't, get the partnerships going, it'll be difficult for him to, actually be captain in the next series going forward.
I understand, but his contract with the ECB has been renewed for a couple of years, which means that he's going to play Test cricket for 2 or 3 more years. But despite that, Ollie Pope was the vice captain before the series, and he's been removed from vice captaincy, and Harry Brook has been given the vice captaincy, which shows that they put a lot of trust in Harry Brook, despite him not have played in even one single Test match in Australia. But obviously, a very strong batting core. They're going to go with Zach Crawley and Van Duckett as their openers. Zach Crawley obviously struggling with form. Do you think that it's the right opening combination to go forward with on
They have
Australian
no
pitches?
choice, actually. Unfortunately, they have no choice. They do have one in Jacob Bethel, but I think they'll keep him as a last resort.
Hmm.
They will start with Ben Duckett and Zach Crawley, hoping that they get some runs under their belt. And it's important to get a good start so that your series going forward becomes easier because it's going to be a long series. And with the depleted Australian side, England should look on to dominate them so that they carry forward the momentum for the rest of the Ashes.
Correct.
Bowling wise as well, I have heard that there are injury scares.
Mm.
Mark Wood seems to have a problem with his hamstring.
Correct.
He is also a key bowler for them because in Australian pitches, you need someone who can
Bounce
bounce
out.
off the deck. So he will be a big miss if he doesn't play the first test. But a
Yeah,
lot of eyes,
but
but a
even
lot
if
of eyes
he,
would be on Jofra Archer.
correct, yeah. Even if he misses the first test, I think they've got enough bowling reserves. They have got, they have made James Anderson and Chris Wokes retire just because they do not fit in the scheme of things for this Ashes series. So big calls being made and a lot of game time being given to Josh Tongue, someone like a Biden Cast, or for that matter, Gus Atkinson as well. And since you know that it's going to be a five-match test series, and you saw in the India-England series as well, there was no bench Stokes available for the fifth test match. So it becomes even more important for England and Brendan McCallum to manage how the workload of Ben Stokes basically. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go in with a spinner, a specialist spinner for the first test, four out and out fast bowlers, and then you go in with Ben Stokes because you basically preserve him for the rest of the test matches. So first, maybe for the bowling lineup for the first match would be like Jofra Archer, Josh Tongue definitely plays, Biden Cars, and Gus Atkinson, and maybe you preserve a Mark Wood for a second test where you basically decide to rest Jofra Archer. Maybe along the series of the five test matches for one single test match you play both of them together, but I wouldn't I know for a matter of fact that Jofra Archer won't play more than four test matches and Mark Wood won't play more than three because they have not got the fitness in them, plus they have enough bowling reserves, they have enough batting depth as well. तो कभी अगर स्पिन की जरूरत पड़ी तो दे हैव शोएब बशीर, और इफ दे वांट टू रिप्लेस देम विद मोर बैटिंग डेप्थ तो जैसे आपने बोला जेकब बैथल भी है.
They also have Will Jacks, which I
Will
was
Jacks,
quite
but हाँ, but Will
surprised with.
Jacks, yeah, he's not a
He's
proper
not
test
a
bat. Yeah,
Yeah, but they have taken him as a cover
yeah,
because
I
I
agree.
think his bowling has been decent in the IPL
Yeah,
and so on and so forth. So if they need someone who can just give you a couple of overs maybe and bat at that lower 6-7 order, then you could probably take a Will Jacks. But I agree with you, their pace bowling battery is good enough for them to play all the five matches. They can switch in between, as you rightly said. Uh, just the fitness of Ben Stokes and the form of Ben Stokes is much important, is what
correct.
I believe.
And how important is Joe Root as a player with all his experience? I think he's toured Australia thrice, and this is his fourth tour. Not even a single century, but I think he's coming on the back of a lot of runs in every series that he's played after that last Ashes tour to Australia. So he's coming in with a lot of confidence. Do you think in the first Test match he'll be able to overturn his record and score a century
I'm confident of it.
in the
I
first
think
Test?
he'll do it. Yeah, I think he'll do it in the first test. Just that the additional responsibility on him, being a
Hmm,
senior pro in that team, he knows that his openers are not in the best of forms. Even Ben Duckett hasn't been scoring runs.
correct.
Uh, and you saw Oli Pope, he's a hit or a miss. You either see him score 100 or he gets out
I
under
think
10.
I think he'll be Scott Boland's bunny this summer.
Yeah, so I think Joe Root will score that 100 in the first test. That is what I'm optimistic of. But yeah, we'll have to wait and watch for the entire series. I'm just scared of the England batting, if I'm being honest with you, because they tend to lose out wickets
Hmm.
on consecutive overs, consecutive deliveries, and they put the lower order under pressure.
But their lower order has a lot more batting stability than Australia.
You're right. And for Australia as well, if Cam Green is not performing, I think you'll immediately see them get in Bo Webster. Bo Webster has
Hmm,
been great in the lower order,
correct,
and he bowls and he gives you the couple of overs that you
correct.
need.
So yeah, I think all in all a good choice. So you're playing 11 for England. What does it look like
I think
for the
the
first
top
test?
four, the top five actually pick themselves: Ben Duckett, Zach Crawley, Oli Pope, Joe Root, Harry Brook. You will see Stokes at six, and maybe they can switch up. Have Brook at six, Stokes at five, however they want. Seven, eight, nine, 10 would be your fast bowlers. However you want to play them, according to me, I think Josh Tongue should get a chance with Bryden Cass and Gus Atkinson.
And Jofra.
They and Jofra Archer, of course, goes without saying. And I think the lone spinner they would have to play Shoaib Bashir. I think he'll go for plenty of runs. But if you have picked up spinner, you might as well back him and see what happens.
Yep. Last questions coming to the last segment. Uh, Predicted winner, players to watch out for, and one battle to watch out for. So four questions.
Uh, yeah, so I think the scoreline should be 3-2 in
अच्छा
favor of
सीरीज का ही
England.
बता दिया अच्छा ठीक है
मैं सीरीज का बता दिया, and I
ओके
think for the first test, I think England are
फेवरेट्स
favorites,
या
but you never know. But for me, it's England who are favorites. Players to watch out for me would be Joe Root, of course. And bowling wise, if Atkinson gets some opportunity, I think he'll do well. From Australia, I think all eyes would be on Steve Smith. And I would like to see Travis Head also be amongst the scheme of things, and Scott Boland.
and in terms of highest run scorer and highest wicket taker for the series.
For the series, let me pick Joe Root from England. Let me pick Scott Boland if he gets to play all the 5 matches. Otherwise, it could be Mitch Stark.
Okay. Okay, now my turn. Again, first match, England are favorites, but I would see a realistic 3-1 series in favor of Australia. Uh, then I would say, again, first match, my battle to watch out for would be Harry Brook versus Nathan Lyon. And my choice for highest run scorer is again same Joe Root from England, and highest wicket taker is Nathan Lyon from Australia. Maybe not in the first match, but his record at the Gabba, at Melbourne, at Sydney, where the ball will turn a bit more this time of the year, he'll against this baseball approach. I think he's a far more experienced player, and he should be able to pick up more wickets against an attacking England lineup. So yeah,
Interesting choice.
that's it. I think the match starts at 7:50 p.m. IST and 7:50 a.m. IST. It's a morning match, and I genuinely hope that you guys wake up and choose to watch Australia versus England rather than watching India versus South Africa, where we know it's gonna be a 2-0 whitewash in favor of South Africa. So yeah, rather watch better quality Test cricket, and after that, even higher quality post-match analysis at the Slip Cordon. Thank you for watching this video. We'll be back soon after the first match for the review. Thank you.